Luckily, it didn't seem to have spread from the lung. But when he was talking to me, Dr. Hanna says, your voice is awful croaky. So he sent me to another doctor to have a look down my throat. And the doctor said, yeah, I think we have something there in your throat. But the problem was, Dr. Hanna needed my throat to be clear to get a tube down to do the surgery. So he got this throat doctor to go down and take a piece out, like a biopsy, in other words. And he checked it, and that was cancerous. But it wasn't from the lung. Didn't spread from the lung to the throat. They said it was two separate cancers. So now we have the surgery coming up. This is in the second week of October last year, 2013. And he put me in for surgery on November the 6th, 2013. He wanted to get in there and get the cancer out, get it done with. So he said, we'll look at your throat after we get after you recover from the operation. So the operation went good. It was 4-hour operation. Went really good. I was in recovery and I came to immediately, just about. It was great. And I spent 6 days in recovery in the hospital, and then I went home. I had nurses coming to me at home for the first week. And then I gradually got better. The next step, when I got better, was going for radiation for my throat, for my larynx. Started that took 4 weeks, 5 days a week, so there's 20 treatments on my throat. That seemed to work, hopefully. I saw my doctor just last week, and he looked down and he said they have a tube what they put down to check whether they've got everything, and he said, I can't do that yet. It's
raw.
too inflamed, too raw and inflamed. So we have to wait for a little while. So I have another appointment with, this is a Dr. Kim, who is a radiation oncologist. Okay, where can I go now? Where am I up to? That's about the extent, I guess, of my story.
Okay.
You still have to see Dr. Hanna, though.
Yeah, I still have to see Dr. Hanna for a follow-up from my surgery. But with having chemo and radiation, everything's clashing together.
And in the hospital.
Yeah, and then I was in, that's another thing I missed just 2 weeks ago. When you take chemotherapy, I had 2 treatments, and they're just about 100% sure that there's no cancer in my body, but they would like to do radiation, chemotherapy, chemo, just to clean out if there's any micro signs of cancer in there, what couldn't be picked up with a scan or an x-ray. So I started that 4 weeks ago. And it's 2 Tuesdays. My sessions are every Tuesday of every week. I had 2 long sessions, which the long session, they classes 5.5 hours. 3 or 4 days after the second one, I got not feeling good. I got a temperature of 38.6, which is high. So I ended up down at the emergency, and I was in the hospital for a week with pneumonia in my right lung.
Mm.
This is a big problem with chemo. It takes your white cells
Oh, I
way
see.
down.
Right.
Demolishes your white cells, just about. That's the ones what protect you from disease and illness, your white cells. So this is the problem I had. And this is where I just came from before this interview, was having a blood test to check my white cells. And they're pretty good. So I can go for chemo tomorrow.
Okay.
And we try again.
And if it happens again, that's it.
If it does happen again, that I get pneumonia again, we're going to stop the chemo. That is the advice of my oncologist, Dr. Arnold, who is my chemo oncologist. So, that's about my story as far as I am up to today.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay? I can't really think of anything else I've missed. It's just...
Can you talk a little bit about how you felt when you were originally diagnosed and what the reactions from you personally were like and also from those around you?
I first got diagnosed, I felt pretty not good about it, but I didn't feel scared and I didn't feel bad about it. I was, I don't know, ready for it. My wife took it worse than I did. She was really concerned. As soon as you hear that word cancer, it is a horrible word.
I was crushed.
She was crushed.
'Cause I lost
She's
two
lost two
brothers.
brothers with cancer. And as soon as she heard it again,
In their 50s.
it was here we go again. But I had good confidence. When I met the surgeon, Dr. Hanna,
Mm-hmm.
I was really confident in him, what he could do. He says, I can get that out of you. So. Also, I want to add this. Now, I'm not saying it made a difference because I can't tell, but I am 74 years old. How much left do I have? 10 years? I'd be 84. That's not a bad life, 84 years. Now, had I been, say, 44 or 54 when I was diagnosed with cancer, I can't say how my reaction would be. But I believe it might be a little different than what it is at 74, if you understand what I mean.
Mm.
So,
Do you have any kids?
yes, I have grown-up kids.
How did they react to hearing this news?
My daughter, who was 40, she was shook up. She comes with me anytime she can. Excuse me. If she can get the time off work, she's with me. Especially when we see doctors. She wants to be in on everything and know exactly what's going on. My son, who I haven't seen for years, is out in BC, and we don't communicate anymore. So that's actually another story.
Okay.
Okay.